Outcome Memories, a love letter to the Sonic and Sonic.exe community. I'd say it's the best Sonic.exe game we've gotten in a while, a Roblox one, which is kind of crazy to think about. From the gameplay, to the character designs, to the team's passion, to the amazing OST. Speaking of gameplay, the most important part of it all is the survivors, in my opinion. Each one is so unique and has a distinct playstyle, like Knuckles specializing in hands-on combat, or Eggman being a survivalist that can fend for himself effectively, or Amy being a gambling addict.
Dude! Oh my god! Bro! I fucking love it all!
When it comes to the Executioner, there's so much and so little at the same time. So little because 2011X is the only one as of version 0.1, and so much because he's great at everything the Executioner needs to do. Chasing, map traversal, locating survivors, and making everyone argue about whether or not Rage mode is balanced. I think it's balanced, but that's for another video. Of course, we can't forget the other core gameplay element, the maps. There's 4 right now, each one having something special to them. And today, I'll be covering each one and sharing how I'd utilize the various elements of the maps. So without further ado, let's get this bam flam. Green Hill, the place where it all began. This map is both the smallest and most wide open map. The spots I want to focus on is the bridge, the tunnel, the hiding spot behind the waterfall, and the center. Firstly, the bridge. Grouping up with teammates is great here, mainly if it's near the bridge and not in it, because the Executioner will likely notice you while he's at the center of the map. Furthermore, you can actually get on top of the bridge, which is very easy if you're playing as Eggman with his double jump. Don't try to exploit this spot though, 2011X can jump up there too. The tunnel's a great hiding spot, and it even complements Knuckles since he can really only defend himself and others in close quarters. The spot behind the waterfall is an even better hiding spot, but you should only use it to hide, which isn't great knowing that 2011X almost always knows where you are. You can't loop here either because there's no debris or anything you could jump around to juke the Executioner. Next is the center, where there's a spring smack dab in the middle. This is an okay looping spot, it's pretty situational. You can easily lead 2011X to your stunners if they're in the back behind you, or you can do some cheeky jukes with a spring, though I don't recommend the latter because 2011X can jump up to you without the spring. Now, how is the map favoring 2011X? Well, Green Hill is easily his best map. It's so open, and with your charge you can enter any area of the map from any angle and catch the survivors by surprise, much better than the other maps. Plus, catching hidden players is very easy because there's not much places to hide compared to the other maps, again. Before we wrap up Green Hill, I'll be giving you guys my personal, and somewhat ever so slightly biased, tier list on each character's viability, with explanations for some of them. Here's my tier list for Green Hill. Knuckles is the weakest in the map, but he's not actually weak here. As mentioned before, he performs better in smaller spaces, since the Executioner needs a lot of room to dodge your punch. But half the map is wide open, making Knuckles situational in Green Hill. That covers everything, so let's move on to the next map. Hill.Gym, X's Labyrinth of Hallowed Halls. This is the most complex and enclosed map. By complex I mean it has the most areas, but it's not the biggest map. It's also the map where most players will be completely lost, and I wouldn't blame you. Thankfully, there will be some rooms that will be easy to find that will be important to note. The main room, the piano room, the double-floored room, and the dead end. The main room is your best friend. There are 3 spots where the survivors can group up, with 2 of them intersecting with a spring that lead to it. It's great for looping, and I'm surprised I haven't been in many matches that utilize this room. Next is the piano room, and why do I call it that? Well, you jump up the spring, and you go to a small section of the room that has X's piano. Isn't that neat? Both of these rooms are the most notable for one main reason. the spring. It brings you so high up that 2011X can't simply jump up to reach you. He has to use the spring as well. So if you pull off a juke that has him fall back down, he'll have to wait for the spring to be available again, which wastes his time. Seriously, it's really strong. The double floored room, which I couldn't think of a better name for, is similar to the main room in the sense that it's a great loop-in area. The staircase at the far side of the room can be a good spot if you're unpredictable with your movements, and it's a great spot for stunners to run in since there's a smaller space. The dead end is noted because you should straight up avoid this room. Dead ends are the worst kinds of places to loop because you can't lead the executioner anywhere else, which is dangerous. So bring them to a better place, such as the main room, which is pretty close to the dead end room. Here's the thing, 2011X will likely struggle the most on this map. Invisibility will be very, very helpful in going around the place efficiently, but chasing survivors will be difficult if they know what they're doing. Here's the tier list. Hold on, something's not right here. Hot take incoming, let's talk about Tails. Don't get me wrong, he's a good character, but man, is he map dependent. And in Hill.Gym, he's really punished here. Sure, the main room and some long hallways are good places to shoot the executioner, but guys, this map sucks for Tails. He barely has room to fly around, a sure and easy prey for 2011X, especially if his charge is ready. So I have to ask, to those who do it, why the hell are you insta-locking Tails on Hill.Gym? Please play anyone else. Unless you're a really good Tails main, and I'm sure there's many, the best you'll be doing is healing Metal Sonic faster. But here's the thing, Eggman, who is great on this map, does this better, so whoop-de-doo, I guess. Alright, the rant is over, and so is the segment, so let's move on to the next map. You Can't Run, or YCR for short, a polluted factory used merely as another game of his. This is the biggest map in the game, with the center of the map being the most wide open, with various much smaller indoor segments. The center of the map is the place where most matches take the majority of its time in, and you're going to find out why. Here it is. Think of it like the main room in Hill.Gym, but on steroids. It's a bigger spot with paths branching to almost every other area in the map. However, they did bring the spring back from Green Hill, where 2011X can just jump up onto the platform without the spring. Except I'm lying because every character can jump up without the spring, which is really strange. But yeah, this place has it all. Good snipe spots for Tails, small spaces in some sections that help melee stunners, great hiding spots where survivors can gather around Cream for heals, or so Metal Sonic can hide away too in a self-heal. It's a really strong place, but not just for survivors. 2011X, much like in Green Hill, does great here because the place where survivors hang out the most is wide open. Charge is even better here because some of the sections near the center are highly elevated, which isn't a problem if you're charging. Oh yeah, we can't be forgetting a certain event that happens in every match that adds extra difficulty by adding a new element that players have to look out for. The final 80s. Why am I talking about it now? That's because when there's a minute and 20 seconds left on the timer, the factory's core explodes, with the explosion getting bigger over time. Green Hill also has an event that potentially kills survivors being lightning strikes, but I didn't talk about it prior to now, because the spot that the lightning hits the ground is completely random, and 9 times out of 10 it's not hitting anyone. The same can't be said for the explosion in YCR. No RNG involved. You have to run away if it gets too close. If you're 2011X, the explosion literally does nothing to you. But as a survivor, if you're too close to the explosion, you disintegrate and die on the spot. To help the survivors with this, there isn't one random spot on the map that holds the exit. On YCR, 5 doors will open and you can use any to escape. The 2 best is in the small room ahead of this pathway shown on the screen, which has an exit up the stairs. The other one is a really long and dark hallway that the center leads to with a door near the very middle of the map. The exit is at the very end of the hallway. The reason why the other 3 exits aren't recommended is because they are closer to the explosion than the other 2, meaning you need to be at one of the unsafe exits as they open, or you need to run out and find a safe one to ensure you aren't instantly killed. This map is great, my favorite one actually. It's strong for every character, yet it's balanced. That's why my tier list has everyone except Eggman in A tier. Eggman is in S tier because there is so much space and so many small rooms that benefit his whole kit. There are a lot of solo Eggman moments that I've seen on this map that result in him dominating. Now that we're done with YCR, we move on to the last map in version 0.1. But before we do, I need to show you what to expect when diving in. I need to show you why this map is getting overhauled in the next major update. I need to show you just how hilarious and torturous this map is. Welcome to Not Perfect. What the hell just happened? Oh yeah, Not Perfect. Alright, here we go. Finally, we're here at Not Perfect, the map that lives up to its name for being the most chaotic one. Let's get straight to why that is. It's the goddamn bumpers. These demons have a chance to ragdoll your character if you bounce off of them, which applies to everyone but 2011X. Sometimes you'll bounce off of them and be fine without getting ragdolled, but if you are, one of two things will happen. Either you fall onto the ground and lay there for a second or two until your character gets back up, or if the placement and the part of the bumper you hit calls for it, you'll be sent off the map and into the void, damaging you and teleporting you back to a random spawn location. When it comes to falling onto the ground, this is bad for when you're in chase because it's a free hit for the executioner, and if you fall off the map, you're taking 35 damage. More if you're playing as Sonic or Metal Sonic, making this map a nightmare for these two. Now listen, Not Perfect isn't all that bad. You can utilize the bumpers during chase if you do it to shoot yourself away from the executioner and you know you have good distance and positioning to do so. Plus, they don't usually expect it. Not Perfect definitely takes the most skill to play on because one mistake could throw you off. Literally. Thankfully, some characters are actually much better to play as because of this, but we'll get to that soon. When it comes to the specific spots on the map, I want to point out the 3 towers found on the map. They're all the best spots for survivors to group up because they can see the whole map, which greatly benefits a certain ranged stunner. 2011X is powerful on this map, really powerful, due to you being able to fly anywhere with charge and the bumpers getting you kills on oblivious survivors you aren't chasing. I'd say it's the second best map for 2011X. Here's the tier list for Not Perfect. Now, remember that rant I had for Tails and Hill.Gym? That doesn't apply with Not Perfect in the slightest. Not Perfect is Tails' domain. The whole place is his sniping ground, especially when he's perched up on the towers. Furthermore, he can fly pretty much anywhere as he has all the room in the world to fly high and towards his destination. Every complaint I had with Tails in Hill.Gym is flipped upside down when he's in Not Perfect. As for Sonic and Metal Sonic, things get really dicey with them. Sonic's Peel Out and Metal Sonic's Destructive Charge are abilities that make them go really fast. But there's a problem with that, isn't there? Peel Out goes so fast you might as well be put on a speedway, and Destructive Charge is hard to turn, making you fall off the map easier than the other characters. Sonic's Peel Out is a lot worse for one reason. He can pick up teammates during Peel Out. And if he jumps off the map, whether you like it or not, he's taking you with him. And that is about it for Not Perfect. This map is ridiculous. I'm honestly glad that it's getting overhauled in the next update, which I cannot wait for. They said that they'll be keeping the bumpers and the void, but they're going to be changing a lot of things so it's not as absurd. And that is it for the video. This was my first guide that I've worked on, and I think I did a pretty good job. I feel like I've missed out on a few things, but, you know, I can probably come back to this and make a new map guide. Now, as of recording this, they just finished the Angel Island map, which is one of the 2 maps coming to version 0.2, and I seriously am so excited for the update. I know that there's still a lot of things they need to work on, but, you know, I'm willing to wait for it. I'll be patient, and I think the wait will be very worth it, just like the release for the game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and like and subscribe, and have a good one.